Welcome back to Bio News Network. We appreciate you tuning in to this latest forecast, weather forecast, and we're actually taking a look at three distinct events that are happening in the area of the continental United States and the Caribbean in regards to weather. So we're actually taking a closer look at potential severe thunderstorms in the area of Texas and East Louisiana, also primarily in the area of central Texas, and we're also taking a closer look at snowfall anticipated in the region of Colorado and Wyoming going forward into the next few days. And we're also taking a closer look at a recent ashfall advisory by NOAA in regards to Soufriere volcano eruption in St. Vincent. Our hearts go out to the citizens of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as neighboring islands such as Barbados and Dominica in this time of tribulation. We send our condolences and we send our heartfelt prayers to our Caribbean friends who are enduring severe hardship at this time. NOAA actually issued an ashfall advisory for the coordinates of 13.3 north and 61.2 west, with winds possibly carrying a new plume of volcanic ash northwest, potentially to impact the island of Dominica. If you remember earlier, a few days ago, the winds were shifted and actually took the ash over to Barbados and impacted the airport there, creating a complete blanket of ash across the island of Barbados and shutting down the Grantley Adams airport. So this volcanic eruption is having significant impact throughout the Caribbean. If there's a means and a way that you can assist our friends in St. Vincent, by all means, go ahead and donate to the authorized charities to help bring food, water, and assistance medical supplies to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and neighboring islands that have been affected by this volcano, which continues to be relatively unstable. If you recall, based on the information provided, the last eruption was in 1979, and with this recent eruption, it's caused the evacuations of tens of thousands of people on the island of St. Vincent. Also, we're going to be taking a closer look at the weather in the Gulf of Mexico as we approach closer to the start of the hurricane season. And this is also another threat to the people of St. Vincent. Not only are they concerned about COVID and the pandemic possibly in the shelters, but they're also impacted by the start of the hurricane season very, very shortly. So we definitely want to take a look at continental United States, and we also want to take a look at the Gulf of Mexico, and we also want to keep the people of St. Vincent in our hearts and in our thoughts. So going forward, we want to make sure that we understand that heavy rain and flooding is forecasted for the areas of the southeast, especially in the going into the next few days, Saturday through Monday for the lower Mississippi Valley. And we also anticipate heavy rain as this low pressure system migrates east. We anticipate there's going to be a band of very, very heavy rainfall in the area of North Florida to Central Florida. If you recall, only a few days ago, this area actually was impacted severely by severe weather that brought up to 3 inches of rain in the Central Florida area. Orlando, Tampa area, Kissimmee area received a significant amount of rain in a very, very short period of time as a previous system actually migrated across skirted across the top, the north section of Florida. We're actually taking a closer look at a system that's actually heading east. It had impacted the Rockies. Now it's actually heading eastward into the plains and the southeast states, and with it brings additional snowfall to the areas of Colorado as well as Wyoming. The area initially only 24 to 48 hours it was in the Great Basin area. Now it's shifting slowly towards the east, east-southeast, towards Kansas, Oklahoma, and we're going to have to be taking a closer look at the impact of this weather system as it migrates into the North Texas, Oklahoma area, especially with respect to the possible formation of supercells. So if we actually take a closer look, we're going to go ahead and load our cuboid for this weather presentation so we can actually take a look at the actual elements. We're going to be taking a closer look at the dimensions of the weather for the continental United States. And we're actually going to be taking a closer look at our temperature as well as precipitation and the dew point values as well as possible accumulated rain over the next 24 hours. So if we actually go ahead and take a look at our ground temperatures, we can actually see quite a bit of a shifting with respect to the system that was actually a troughing that's actually occurring in the area of Wyoming and Colorado, bringing with it colder temperatures, additional snowfall as evidenced here, and we can actually see a drop in the mid-continental United States of temperatures actually lowering. We see in the areas of Houston, it's in the low 60s, even out in Arizona, which has been unseasonably warm, with significant temperature above normal temperature anomalies for the last few days prior to this troughing, a large-scale troughing coming in. It's actually in the mid-70s, but if we actually go as far south as Miami, we see that Miami was in the lower 80s for most of the day on April 15th, and we do see that there's large body of water for the Gulf of Mexico. Surface sea temperatures are increasing, so with that is going to bring additional threat for severe thunderstorms going into the remainder of the week and next week as this trough actually makes its way further down into the southeast and possibly be fueled by the low-level moisture from the Gulf of Mexico as it migrates across and skirts across the southeast states. If we actually take a closer look at precipitation also, we can actually see that for most of the day on the 15th, we actually encountered quite a bit of significant thunderstorm activity and rainfall for the area of southern Louisiana, New Orleans area, also southern Mississippi and the coast of Alabama. And also the system will be slowly making its way east and bringing quite a bit of rainfall, as we mentioned, for the North Florida area through central Florida up to North Florida. Can anticipate up to 3 inches of additional rain throughout for the next over the weekend going into Monday. So we're actually taking a very, very closer look at this system bringing additional flooding risk not only to the area of South Florida, but also to our states of Georgia, Alabama, and Mississippi. Do keep in mind that we were referencing this low pressure system, this trough that's actually increasing snowfall in the area of Wyoming, Casper, Cayenne, going into Colorado, Denver, Colorado. We see actually cold temperatures actually inching down into northern New Mexico. So we anticipate even additional snow for northern towns cities such as Taos and Santa Fe in New Mexico, as this low pressure system actually makes its way further down into the south of the United States, into Texas. But we do see, as this low pressure system actually transitions east, it's going to be bringing a precipitatory mix of rain and snow, freezing rain to the residents of Oklahoma and Kansas as it makes its way into the southeast United States and influence the weather even further there. So we are taking a very, very closer look at this system. Actually, several events going on. We do see the previous low actually making its way off to the coast of the Atlantic, but with it comes a secondary low actually bringing in an additional snow, possibly rain, and severe weather as it makes its way into this area. We do take a closer look at the isotherms, and we see that the isotherms are tightly packed together with this system, and we do anticipate the isobars are tightly packed together with this system, so we do anticipate that there will be severe thunderstorm activity if it continues to maintain the same structure as it makes its way further south and starts to influence and be influenced by the low-level moisture in the area. That could increase the likelihood of some more severe thunderstorms for the area of Louisiana, south central Texas, as well as Alabama. We also take a closer look at the dew points for the area, and we do see quite a bit of saturation. Dew points are in the upper 70s, those in the lower midpoints of 70s, as well as the upper 60s, and with that means that there's going to be enough moisture and saturation, water vapor saturation, to increase the likelihood of thunderstorm activity in the area. And also we're taking a look at accumulated rainfall in the area. As we mentioned, we anticipate as the system makes its way across to the panhandle of Florida, there's going to be a really increased risk of rainfall and flooding anywhere from the Pensacola area down to Orlando, Kissimmee, Tampa Bay, which received tremendous amount of rainfall a few days ago from a previous system that was also migrating across the Gulf, the coast of the Gulf, southwest Gulf states. So we're actually taking a very closer look at a lot of different activity, primarily stemming from low pressure systems that have been migrating into the southeast and then interacting with the low level moisture in the Gulf of Mexico, and then eventually graduating and migrating its way off into the Atlantic Ocean, but with it leaving a trail of a significant amount of rainfall and precipitation and going forward. So if you are new to Bow News Network, please go ahead, like and share this video with friends and family, especially those who are impacted by this severe weather. And if we go ahead and discuss our latest pollen allergy report for the continental United States, we do see that the best cities for those who may be suffering from allergies going in this spring would be the best cities at this time would be Sheridan, Wyoming, Albany, New York. We're looking at New Orleans, Louisiana, New York, as well as Cayenne, Wyoming. So two cities in the state of Wyoming are actually coming up as two of the best cities for those who may be suffering from allergies, as the counts are actually lower in those 5 cities mentioned. We do have to make a note of the 5 worst cities for pollen at this time would be Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Santa Fe, New Mexico, Yuma, Arizona, Yakima, Washington, and also El Paso, Texas. So we're actually taking a closer look at those 5 cities that are actually rated as the worst for pollen allergy sufferers. Typical pollen that we're looking at would be juniper, oak, ash, as well as mulberry and alder, which are the 5 main culprits showing up on the list for pollen sufferers at this time for our pollen allergy report for April 15th, 2021. So that is actually our weather forecast, our weather report for the 15th of April. As all means, always remember to bow to the weather, and of course, our thoughts and our prayers are with the citizens of the beautiful island of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as neighboring islands such as Barbados, Martinique, and Dominica, who may be impacted by the Ashfall advisory that was issued today by NOAA with respect to winds north-northwest, actually causing further distribution of volcanic ash throughout the island chain. Do keep in mind that this ash is not only detrimental to breathing for the citizens of our friends in the Caribbean, but also it will be impacting air travel because the ash is actually severely dangerous for airplane engines, because once it mixes with the airflow of airplane engines, it can actually damage and melt onto rotary fans as well as engine parts, causing engine failure. So our thoughts are definitely with the people of the Caribbean, notably the islands of St. Vincent, Dominica, Martinique, as well as Barbados, and we hope that we'll be able to get those who are impacted by this volcanic eruption will be able to receive donations, supplies. There's also word that the government of Canada and the people of Canada are sending supplies. So we hope that as a globe we'll reach out to our friends in St. Vincent and also neighboring islands who desperately need fresh water, food, medical supplies, and also shelter as they try to bear this volcanic eruption. So as always, please remember to bow to the weather, and thank you for watching Bow News Network. Have a great day.